And what about your diet? Do you have any specific tips for the viewers or for me?
If I have tips, it's I don't know. I think it's always difficult because I feel diet is something which is super personal. So what would work for me would not work for you, for instance. So I'm not sure if I really want to give a general thing. I would just say then listen to your body basically, because if you can feel if something is good for you or not.
Yeah, it's a very tricky advice because some food products are actually influencing your body on a way that it feels good in the moment when you eat it.
Okay, but it feels good. Yeah, it can feel good, but
Yeah.
you can also feel it, I think, mostly in your stomach. So not
Yeah.
like, okay, I eat chocolate and then for a moment it's maybe super nice, but
Yeah.
then in the end I feel like cramps, or you just if you I think most people are also kind of numb for it, but if you really how do you say this? Maybe adjust a bit more to your body, you can actually feel also tiny changes, maybe in how your mood afterwards, or because if the chocolate is super nice for a minute, then afterwards you kind of drop and get tired. That's also a thing, if you get tired. I used to think there was something super wrong with me, but then I figured it's just the food. These tiny things, and that's also the difficult thing about food, I guess, that it's not always super obvious that this food does this to you. You think, oh, I'm tired because I already did a lot of stuff maybe, and not because you just ate a lot of chocolate. Or
And you know, there are many narratives are still spreading that you need to eat a lot, you need a lot of protein. Like, meanwhile, we know that, for example, there is also to digest a certain amount of food that costs enormous amount of energy. So even if you eat the good amount that you possibly need, because you need to go, you need to have some nutrition for your body, it costs you so much energy to digest sometimes that the how do you call it, the equal like if
equilibrium.
The equation is pretty much sometimes like, okay, you ate, but you were basically ate to digest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think even if you walk in a supermarket, a lot of stuff is just, if you only read what's on the back of the products, you think like, why do they put so many stuff in it?
Yeah.
It can be you have to digest all this and break it down and into parts that your body actually can digest. So yeah, I mean, in the supermarket, I think sometimes I feel it's quite hard to get real food, like clean food.
Yeah, that was basically my main question about like, because I think that maybe there is a way to go towards whole food, and I think it's better if you are as much as possible involved in the food what you eat in the production. Okay,
Yeah.
even if it's not gardening, but at least the cooking part, and you know the ingredients, it's already it's a big step towards knowing what you eat and what you put in your body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so then that would be nice if you prepare a lot yourself. Yeah, that okay, if you mean it like that. So not ready to eat things, but yeah, I agree. I fully agree with you. For me, this feels really like normal. Like this is what old people do, right? So I don't really think about it anymore. If people ask me, it's just, I'm super blessed that I grew up on the countryside. We have our own garden and stuff. So if I'm at my parents', we do not go to the shop. We go to the garden and we pick some veggies and fruits, and now I really learned to appreciate it. When I was younger, I was always a bit annoyed because then we had to eat beans for like 2 months because, we had to harvest them all at the same time. But now I'm super grateful that that I learned how to work with it as well. Yeah.
It's also amazing, these seasonal diets. Every meal had their own place in the year, throughout the year. But what the supermarkets produce or provide nowadays is the all-year dietary summer. Have you heard this concept?
I haven't heard
But
like
it's
that. But
pretty much it sounds good, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's a problem. A lot of people just feel like, I want to eat strawberries. So for me, that's like, but it's not supposed to be here.
I'm also guilty. I like the banana part of it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, me too. And yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes I feel, okay, should I eat that banana? But I know it's not really sustainable to eat it, but it's also handy to have it, you know, because that's what I find sometimes difficult. If you go somewhere, you always have to think about bringing food, or, you know, at least have food, because if I have to buy food somewhere, if I'm on the way, it's not often that I can find really nice stuff.
And I like the banana because it has its own packaging.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm just
so then I'm like
overwhelmed that everything is in packaging. And it's crazy.
Exactly.
Actually, sometimes I have these periods when I choose a scapegoat from my food. Sometimes it's grain, sometimes it's sugar. Okay, sugar is almost totally eliminated from my diet. But then if I go for the grains, then is no pasta, nothing at all. And what you were saying also, that people just got used to certain meals. You know, I was kind of processing this whole idea of why we eat what we eat, because there are also many documentaries, but also if you just being aware of what you do and why you do, you just think about that. Wait a minute, how did it start, or why? And you know, the grains and the meat, they were the most in a couple of 100 years ago, in all the ancient times, they were the food products which was kind of easy to carry on or transport or do whatever, but it doesn't mean that we have to eat it all the time. And actually I was, for a long time, it's strange because my diet challenge started from normal to paleo first. So I was eating a lot of meat, but I didn't eat any grains and anything. And I really looked deeper into this grain business and the whole the grain as a whole entity, and I figured out that, Jesus Christ, the industries want to feed everybody and everything with grain. Like if you see the dog foods, the cows, the pigs, the cats, the fish, and the people, if you just see what kind of restaurants you can see, the Italian or the bakeries, or the Chinese also have a lot of noodles and stuff, or the fast food restaurants. It's just amazing that this is still happening while we have different technologies to store other products, or have almost all the time fresh veggie products. And meanwhile, this focusing on a enormous amount of grain production, it causes very, very serious environmental problems, for example. So I see grain production and animal husbandry, the industrial one, combined together, one of the most harmful for our environment.